Hello, hello, hello. You are tuning to the episode of The Wunderkind Morning Show. Love. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's good, Will I Am? Hey, we're going to wait a little bit till everyone gets in here, but greetings and salutes. I see you, bro. Good morning, man. We are live for another episode of The Wunderkind Morning Show. And guys, we got a great show. I'll wait for some more people to be in. How's everything going this morning, Will I Am? Everything's good? It's bright and early Tuesday morning. Yo, we are up and about. Money Mike, yeah. You know what's crazy? And guys, you know what I'm talking about. On the other channel, The Wunderkind Show, not the morning show, if I go live, I have upwards of 2,000 people that would have came to the live. And sometimes on this, I have like upwards of like 80. So it's like such a switch up, but I love it. Building another channel. And when this is built up and, you know, the lives just become like regular, it's just going to be great for everybody. Straight up. Producer, good morning. What's good, Zico Kage? Good morning. Oh. What's good, family? Bro, we got an action-packed episode today, guys. Action-packed. We're going to be talking about the Shedeur Sanders. Eli Sports Guy, what's good, bro? We're going to be talking about the NFL's hate directed at Deion Sanders and his soon-to-be NFL quarterback son, Shedeur Sanders. And this is going to be one of those episodes where you know I got to go in because I'm watching this and I'm looking at it and I'm saying, bro, this really is starting to irk me. And the disrespect is just on another level. Money Mike, yeah, you already know. If I'm going to be known for anything, I'm going to be known for my level of grind and always trying to put a smile on people's faces. That if I'm going to be known for anything, those two things I want to just be palpable when people bring up the Wunderkind Show or Nitro. My work ethic and my hope that everybody, I can put a smile on somebody's face every day. That's it, bro. That's where I'm at. Delvon, peace, my people. Good morning, good morning. Kush, good morning, bro. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. You know what it is. Producer said, can I get 2 slots for Harbs and EDC just because they need to wake up? I can do it for free. You don't said nothing. I'm going to give it a double slap too. Listen, both those guys, bro, they're kind of like a Disney cartoon that I'm going to bring up later on in the show. You'll see. And once again, Shedeur is great by the old standards. Listen, I'm going to get into it, bro. I think there's enough people, and we're going to get into it right now. You're right, Money Mike. He gets the Lamar level hate. And we know why. I know why. This is going to be one of those episodes I go in because you already know. I'm going to tell the truth. Even if it's uncomfortable, I will tell the truth. Even if it doesn't put me in the best of light, I'm going to tell the truth. That's been one of my problems when I was a kid. It's got me into a lot of trouble. But that's how I am. I got to be honest. So, guys, check this out. So if you did not know or see or know what's going on, this is Shedeur Sanders. Now, he played for Colorado, came over for Jackson, and absolutely put on a clinic. Like when I'm talking about passing, being in the pocket, delegating an offense, being just what you want a QB to be, a leader of his team. He did it. Did it at a huge level, changing around 2 separate programs as the starting quarterback. Now, because he carries the name of Deion Sanders, and this is why I'm gonna get in depth on this. Deion Sanders, for as much as he is beloved, he is hated. He is hated for his confidence. He is hated for his will to show his credibility. He is hated for his intelligence. He is hated for his grind. He is hated for his foresight. That's a strong one. And because a lot of times, us as humans, it's so easy to be able to have 20/20 hindsight. But with him, he has 20/20 foresight. You understand? And people hate that he has done it his way and been correct. Now look, if y'all haven't noticed watching this show, I'm a bit of a know-it-all. Can't even help it. That's how I am. I love facts. And I will use facts to show you exactly why I'm correct about certain things. And that's exactly how Deion Sanders is. He'll tell you what he's going to do, and he goes out there and does it. But because Deion Sanders has done that, he has raised this young man to have the same principles or to live by the same principalities in which he employs. And because of that, people are now saying that this young man is arrogant, brash, undeserving, spoiled. And look, Josina Anderson, shout outs to Josina. Because if you're a Raven fan, you know exactly what Josina Anderson is. And that young, lovely lady, very lovely, did a piece on it on Twitter. I'm going to read this off to you a little bit so you understand exactly where we're coming from with this. Because I'm going to get to the crux of it all. I'm going to put it all into a ball so we can see exactly where I'm coming from. Right? Let me get back to my Josina Anderson stuff so I can read it to you guys. Where is it at? It's right here. Okay, it says right here, it says, I am disappointed to hear that a quarterback's coach from a team drafting in the top 7 referred to Shedeur Sanders as coming off as brash and arrogant in his team interview and making his assessment known to a number of people per source. I'm purposely not naming the team. I'm purposely, not naming the team as not to directly call the team out. I'm just sharing that this coach's personal assessment is the direct opposite from how Sanders came across to many reporters in his press conference with the media at the Combine. Sounds quite familiar, right? But I'll continue. Sanders appeared to go out of his way to acknowledge multiple media members, regardless if they were recognizable or not. He seemed cordial, polite, witty, thoughtful, along with being confident, as many athletes are. Alternately, these observations were distinctly different from how other QB prospects came off the stump in the media last year in Indy. According to a league source, said QB coaches seem to have an issue with the culture of athletes who have broad fame and financial success before entering the NFL, and in their opinions, appears to have a problem with them. Who would have known? I'll leave it at that. And in their opinions, appears to have a problem with certain athletes. This is how pre-draft evaluations can get jacked because of evaluators who don't seemingly possess the discernment to detect intangible traits that are connected to the will and drive to win without being a stat or delineated in an analytics report. He's literally Deion Sanders' son, and despite growing up different from most, seemed fairly grounded. Guys, it's right there. You know what's funny? I can't wait to see what they're going to say about Arch Manning when he comes out, right? Look, we know what this is, and I don't think I have to really sugarcoat it for everybody that's in here, Shedeur Sanders is not begging for anything, right? He's coming in with one of the most recognizable names in NFL history. Sorry, scratch that. In sports history. And because he has that name, his father has done things to make sure that even if the NFL did not give him the opportunity that he is so rightfully earned, he would still be financially stable, most likely for the rest of his life. So he's coming in with I'm a QB. I'll answer QB questions. I'm here to lead a team. I'm here to change a culture. I'm here to make sure that we win. And win a lot. Regardless of who's around me, regardless who's coaching me, regardless who you give me as weapons, my job is to win. He has displayed that level of confidence throughout his entirety before he got to Colorado and Jackson, where they said he was only doing what he was doing because of the level of competition his team was going against. He then takes that, goes to Colorado with an absolutely horrible O-line, and puts up ridiculous statistics. Morning, Coach, morning. And in doing so, ruffled a lot of feathers because, like Lamar Jackson, they bet against him. They wanted to humble him. And they wanted to humble Deion Sanders through him. See, I'm talking to somebody here. That's the problem that a lot of people are facing. See, this is not a young black man that is coming from a background where they just need all of this money. All of this is for the first time for them. They barely got a taste in college, you know what I'm saying? And they're hoping that this NFL opportunity changes their life. No, his parents don't need NFL money. He does not need NFL money. I'm talking to somebody here. He has done and put in work because of the new deals that are now allowed and allotted to college players to be worth millions before coming into the NFL. And because of that, those little things that you would throw at your average player in the 90s, those don't move him. So guess what you have to move him by? Straight character. You have to move that young man by your coaching genius, by your ability to lead men. I'm talking to somebody on this episode. That's where the backlash is coming from. Because a lot of coaches, especially with rookies, when they're coming in, they're like, oh, you need us. We don't need you. You need us. You want all of this opportunity that I would afford you for you being able to play in the National Football League. You don't know what millions are. You can't earn any money unless you come through us. And because he has already done those things, it rubs them wrong. Because now all the little tricks that you would use before, can't use them anymore. That's why they hate the system. You see, do you know what the nil deal did? It forced coaches to show exactly how good of leader of men they are. That's what it did. That's what it forced these coaches to do. And what it's forcing the league to do is to throw out a whole bunch of outdated, ridiculous, some even being as far as racist standards for incoming draft candidates. You see, that's where this got to switch up. There's a song, remember? Remember when he said, I was born by the river in a tent, and oh, I've been running ever since. You know that song? It's been a long, long time coming, but I know a change gon' come. That change has been coming for a while. Pause. And now, the same people that benefited from the old establishment are now being forced to adapt. More, yeah, Coach, we talking a little bit of prime, Mr. Deion Sanders' son. Do you know how bad, and once again, this is why listen, when it comes to a lot of pre-draft analysis and stuff like that, with certain players, I like to watch. Have y'all not noticed every player that I said would be good ended up being good? From Tank Dell, Isaiah Likely, certain players. I'm like, yo, they're gonna blow up in this league. I would do that because I will watch film on those players. Personally. If I'm not watching film on them, I'm not gonna talk about them. That's why sometimes y'all be like, hey, I'm like, I didn't know about him. Send me his name. Let me go watch some tape and stuff on him. Right? And I'll make my own judgment. If it's something bad, I'm not gonna talk about it. But if I like what I see, I'm going to talk about it. That's how I do like, you know what I'm saying, when I'm evaluating draft candidates and stuff like that within the combine. These guys purposely do this to try to humble these guys. What you don't understand, and this goes up for a lot of people that do not understand the way the NFL is, right? No matter how high you are picked, no matter what team you go to, eventually, with all the talk, the hoopla about how great you could be, about how bad you're probably projected to be, you got to put those pads on. And then you got to show it, because no matter how high you're drafted, if you can't produce, you will be gone. And the leashes have become so much shorter in this NFL. So much shorter, especially for QBs. Especially for QBs. No, if you disagree with me, tell me you disagree with me, right? But that's how it goes. That's why I only did winners yesterday. Yeah, bro. What's good? 3-piece vids. What's good? Nigel, this is absolutely incredible just how much of a 180 Nick Wright has done on Josh Allen. I'm shocked. I'll talk a little bit about Nick in a little bit. Shifty Sean, because I got to get Nigel's attention, laugh out loud. He doesn't see on some of my stuff. I see you, bro. I got you. Oh, yes, it will. Who thinks Shedeur would be best without of the Browns, Giants, or Raiders? He'd be the best on the Raiders. He'd be great on the Raiders. Because you got to remember, Tom Brady is part of the Raiders organization. So if he goes over there, he's going to be coming from the tutelage of Tom Brady to now having access to the tutelage of Tom Brady all of the time. The Raiders, out of all those teams, especially with them having Brock Bowers, already having an amazing target for him to throw to, and they could build out from that, from the inside out. Bro, I'm telling you, bro. Shedeur, if he goes to the Raiders, he's going to be a problem. I'm letting y'all know that now. The Rev Dr. Nitro, you preaching this morning. Now I'm talking truth and facts this morning. It's just sometimes people have to understand that biblical knowledge is also facts. But morning. Morning, Nitro. Morning, chat. What's up, habitual line stepper? And that's another thing. Good point, habitual line stepper. Yes, the leashes are short for specific QBs, but not all QBs. But you notice how I alluded to that. Because just like Josina said, it's not all QBs get this treatment. It's only certain kind of QBs get this treatment, like the Cam Newtons, the Lamar Jacksons. Certain QBs, they try to break them down, bash them, humble them, as some might make the excuse of doing, and then wonder why there's such backlash when people hold them to the word which they spoke, in which they tried to tear down a young upcoming athlete. Come on now, man. Be real. That's the problem. A lot of them, that's what they do. They bash because they hate the person, hate where they're coming from, and then when it's time for them to, okay, you were wrong. It's not my fault. You know what I'm saying? He's still bad. Or they'll try to delete what they said. It really is. Bryce Young versus Daniel Jones is a perfect example. Look at the amount of chances Daniel Jones was given. And on top of it, he was given another contract. Yeah. It's kind of funny, right? You had Saquon Barkley, which you were willing to run into the turf and then let him walk and let him sign just because in your and that's what I'm talking about, arrogance. A lot of these teams have high-level arrogance. They're the ones that need to be humbled. But they like playing almost like that God, that God complex. Like, oh, I'm blessing you. I'm helping you to come out of the squalor in which you are so accustomed to residing in. That's how they come off. But the problem is, young Shedeur Sanders is not coming from poorness. He's not coming from squalor. He's coming from affluent background. And they don't like that because they can't manipulate him the way they can do with someone that's coming from a more humble background. Mind you, I knew what Baker Mayfield could do, but yeah, I do agree with how they talk of the difference between Baker Mayfield and Shedeur Sanders. Because Baker Mayfield, he came out like, I'm the man. I know I'm the man. I'm going to show you I'm the man. And I'm going to prove to everyone that said anything while holding my junk that I'm the man. That's how he was marketed. And they loved it. They said it gave him, he had gumption about him. There was something a little spicy about him. His competitiveness was literally making its way out of his pores. It's crazy, bro. Like, I don't like unfair treatment. I've been like that. I'll always speak up on it. But if I'm wrong, y'all tell me I'm wrong. I think Shedeur Sanders, his floor is Eli Manning. That's what I think his floor is. I think his floor is Eli Manning. Now, I think his ceiling could be somewhere in the top 15 greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game. I personally believe so. Because what I think was going to end up happening is, I think that Shedeur is going to end up going to a team that eventually are willing to build around him. Build not just around him, but into him. And if that's coach, I'm talking to you as a coach. Somebody clip that line. Sometimes it's not about how people build around you. It's how they build into you, how they uplift you to get the most out of you. That's the problem I've been having with the Baltimore Ravens. Perfect contrast. Because we've watched teams with lesser talented quarterbacks give those QBs everything they could. We watched the Ravens say he should be able, if he wants to get paid, to carry the load by himself. So they were saying we're building around you with defense. Defense wins championships. But did they build into him? Believe in his throwing ability. Believe in his quarterback capability. And the answer is no. The Ravens did not know what they had in Lamar Jackson. Hence why they so happily wasted his rookie contract. And that's coming from a coach. Thank you, coach. Nitro Sanders reminds me more of Justin Herbert. Is that a good... Oh, man, Justin Herbert's a big dude, though. Isn't Justin Herbert like 6'6"? He big. But I get what you're saying. The ability of mobility, but not really a truly, like, running quarterback. But he has the ability to be mobile when he needs to. But he has elite passing traits, I think. Yeah, okay. I can see what you're saying. But where I feel like he'll differ from Justin Herbert is his ability in crunch time. I think he is going to be a mix of Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, personally. I really do believe so. But that's the problem. They're trying to humble this man because they're mad. They have a problem with his father. They have a problem with the way his father has been correct. And he's not humble. He has to know his place. That's why they hate him. It's because his father doesn't know his place, and he has taught his son not to know his place. That's why these guys go at this young man. He's gotten into no trouble, no scandals, no off the field anything. When you see him, he is either bigging up his father's brand or he is bigging up his brand as an individual. That is it. There's nothing to indicate that he would be a problem with any team moving forward. But you're going to make it a problem because you think he has to be humbled. And as long as the old guard is still doing old guard things in this NFL, a lot of talent is going to keep being missed on because of their foolishness. If you do not believe me, the previous draft, take on players like Lamar and stuff like that were so bad that now, because he's been so great, they tried to stick with it. That's why he hasn't won a Super Bowl. He can get all the MVPs in the world. He'll never be regarded as a quarterback. If Shedeur Sanders comes into the league and has almost immediate success, meaning he starts winning within his first 3 years in the league, let me tell you something right now. Because the old guard is going to look to break him, they want to break him, it's going to be however bad you think the Lamar Jackson stuff has been, it's going to turn up a whole other notch. Because the one thing about Deion Sanders is he's not going to quell his tongue. He's going to speak on it. And because he has so much connections behind the scenes, if I feel like certain guys, because they don't like Deion, are going to take hard, staunch, like dug into their heels, you know what I'm saying, positions for Shedeur. And they're going to try to, like, you know what I'm saying, become viral, whatever else, through those hot topics. And Deion's going to be one of those guys that are going to be on their heads. And I think Shedeur is going to be on their heads because I don't feel like he's going to be someone that's going to quell his tongue, especially if he knows outright that you were dismissive or being disrespectful, not only him, but his father. If you notice something about it, you could disrespect Shedeur. But you see when you start disrespecting his family, his brothers, his father, that's when all of a sudden this young man becomes almost a splitting image of Dion, and he lets you know about yourself real quick. We're going to get to see how strong some of these people are in the media when he starts to win, because I think he's going to win. I think he's going to win, and I don't even think he's just going to win. I think eventually he'll be in MVP talks. I think eventually he'll lead the league in passing yards. I think eventually he'll lead the league in passing touchdowns. And you're going to have to wonder why. Why were the draft analysis the way they were? From scouts, coaches, trying to ruin his draft stock. Now, this could also be, right, to show you how crazy this is, this could be a way for one of those teams to knock him down the draft board so he falls to them. That's the dirty practice they also take part in within the combine and the draft. If you did not know that. If a team wants a player, but they're too far down, they will start rumors about the player. They'll start bad things about their character, flaws, gameplay. So hopefully that player slips, and then they can slip, or that player can slip all the way to them. Chosen one, former NFL player here. It's true. There is a certain culture in the league that contrasts starkly with the culture most of the athletes grew up in. It's part of American history, though. And the beautiful Jacina Anderson pointed that out. Thanks for that, Chosen one. Thank you, sir. And I didn't know you were a former NFL player. Congratulations, bro. Congratulations. Like, imagine that. You feel so uncomfortable with your own self that somebody can't be confident in not only their own abilities, but their capabilities. That's crazy to me. That's all this shows is more to me. It's insecurity. But once again, the draft can be very, very dirty. Like I told y'all, there's an underlying way of how they do things in the NFL and in professional sports. That there's a dirty underline that never gets talked about. It never gets talked about. When they'll diminish players, say all this stuff, and then hopefully crash their stock value so that they can pick them up on a reduced price or whatever else it is. That's literally what they be doing. And then act like, what's it called? Oh, I helped you when no one else believed in you. God complex. It should not surprise anyone, but it's alarming to experience and abrasive to deal with. Most players capitulate to it to an unhealthy degree, in my opinion. Those who don't need to be extremely talented. Yeah, facts. And you can see Coach agreeing with him. Like mental games people play. Lamar is a prime example of it. Exactly. They said the man had a noodle arm all of a sudden. When everybody said his comparison arm, because he had a whip of an arm, was to Michael Vick. And if anybody is old enough to remember Michael Vick didn't have a cannon. The man was Mega Man. He had his hand would go click, click, and he would just aim, and the ball would fire out at hot plasma levels. But his draft, he has a noodle arm. The ball will float. Can't really get it there. Nasty work. Nasty work. That's what the culture, a lot of times, of the NFL dictates and does. It's ridiculous. Jared Thomas, the chosen one. In your opinion, why do you think Nick Wright turned on Josh Allen and became a fan of his? Listen, let me tell you something right now, Jared Thomas. Nick Wright is a Patrick Mahomes fan. Josh Allen is not a threat to his team anymore. He only hates people that are threats to his team. He knows the Ravens and Lamar Jackson are a threat to his team. Hence why now he's going, if he considers you a threat, he is going to berate you and hate you. That's how he does things. Lamar has an amazing arm. Amazing arm. But this is why, but once again, the media, it's such a dirty practice for them to do stuff like this. Shout outs to Josina Anderson for calling this out. Because a lot of media members just let it happen. They be like, hey, it ain't me, boss. It ain't me. It don't got nothing to do with me. My last name ain't Sanders. I'm just here to cover what you do. Shout outs to her. If Josina ever sees this, I salute you. Because it happens too often. The games that these people play with other people's lives. It's deplorable. And yes, look, I know some people don't like to say it. There is a tint of racism in it. To break the back of certain players that are a little too arrogant for your liking. Because their confidence needs some humility. And you were put here to show that person humility. To humble them. If you could, listen. Chosen one, you said you're a former NFL player. Coach, you're a coach. And you've dealt with a lot of people and stuff like NFL films and stuff like that. Am I right or wrong on this? It doesn't matter how high or low you're drafted. If you can play, you can play. But if you can't, you won't last long. Am I right or wrong in that assessment? So if you can't play, don't worry. So all these guys they hype up that keep losing, like the Trevor Lawrences, that put on absolute ridiculous play and then get, oh, it's okay, poor baby. Let me stroke your long, golden blonde, sun-kissed hair. You feel me? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And Chosen One said I'm correct. Look, guys, and Shannon Sharp has talked about it a lot of times. As long as you could play, eventually opportunity will show itself. And you'll be able to play. These guys are the top players in the country coming in. They've been the best athletes from high school, junior high, college. The cream rises to the top. Tom Brady was a 7th round draft pick. The cream rose to the top, didn't it? Pun not, you know what I'm saying? Pun withstanding. How many number one picks have failed? How many great star players out of college have failed? So, once again, that's why this bothers me. Oh, it was the 6th round. My bad. I thought it was the 7th round. That's why stuff like this bothers me. Because there's no need for it. If the guy could play, he'll show he can play. If he can't, well, in a couple of years, he'll be gone. Now, a caveat to that is some players get more chances than others. That's factual. It's factual. But Geno Smith was called a bust and he stuck with it, right? He became a pretty darn good starting quarterback, right? Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. It's one of those things when you're going through the stuff and you're looking at that, you know what I'm saying? When you're looking at the NFL, there's such a dark underlining beyond, like right below the surface, that so many guys have to deal with. They don't deserve to deal with it. Chosen said, I would argue, though, that some players who can't play get coddled for longer than others. That's exactly my point that I was making. It mainly depends on how much money they owe you. Okay. Yeah. Certain players, right? Yeah. Chosen, everyone knows that, though. He's faster than Mahomes as far as arm strength. The gap isn't that wide either. Same with the accuracy, slightly. Oh, you're talking to him about, okay. Chosen One said that the catch is that some people can play but get broken down by the culture before they blossom at the NFL level. True. And coaches said Eagles cut someone else. Who did they cut? Because from my understanding, they're trying to rally up to try to get Myles Garrett. It was talked about already. They're trying to make sure that they have everything to outbid any other team for Myles Garrett. That's the NFL rumor going on right now, and it's pretty much been confirmed as not being a rumor, but to being truth. Money Mike, yeah, I got to give Geno credit. He was labeled a bust and turned the narrative. A lot of Jets quarterbacks have been labeled a bust, though, right? But given the right situation and teams that would build into them, not just try to build around them, they flourished, they blossomed. Sometimes, guys, not all seeds do well in regular soil. Sometimes, some seeds you can just throw it into soil and it'll just start to sprout. Some seeds need to be nurtured. Time put into it. A little bit of nutrients into the soil at the bottom. Chosen One said, yo, if we don't at least try to get Garrett, we not serious. Let them tell us no, we aren't trading him to you. Thank you. Everybody should be trying to get Myles Garrett. He is a force multiplier on the defensive side of the ball. But once again, EDC has pretty much come out and said, we ain't got no money. We are poor. And listen, y'all gonna laugh, bro. My dad used to be like that when when I be coming from school, me and my sister coming from school and stuff, he'd be having his shirt over his head and be singing like, I'm poor. Oh my God, why am I so poor? That's pretty much what EDC did while being interviewed. The Ravens don't got no money. Don't expect no big name players. We're drafting everybody we can, and we're planning on hitting on every single draft pick. Nasty work. Nasty work. Oh. Nasty. Oh. Nasty. Jesus. Yo, Browns would never trade Garrett to the Ravens. Hey, it could happen. I'm really an 80s baby. If you know where that's from the old McDonald's commercials. Hey, it could happen. Yo, the Eagles just cut James Bradberry. Listen, he's better than who we had. We had some of the other guy we had. So, Coach, do you think we should pick up a James Bradberry? Do you think he's a better option than a Brandon Stevens? How do you think on that? Because I know you've probably watched more tape on him than I have. King Lee said, why is it the Eagles have so much money and we broke? The Eagles manipulate the cap the way it's supposed to be manipulated. At Jared Thomas, the NFL needs to extract dollars from Buffalo fan base, so they had to raise his status to stimulate the fan base to invest. Huh. I didn't know that. Habitual line stepper, they believe in their two rookie corners and probably going to draft more. Yeah, probably. The Eagles GM is more than goated, bro. He's the only reason why we got Lamar Jackson. I will forever salute that man. If I seen him in public, I'd be like, hey, Howie. He'd be like, who are you? You don't need to know me. All you need to know is that I salute you. And I lock tight too. Butt clenched. Just like that. Straight up. He's been nothing short of incredible. Every excuse that other teams hang their hat on, he has had, and then still flourished with it. He got rid of a very successful offensive genius in Andy Reid, right? Okay. Went to Chip Kelly, failed. Said, all right, get out of here. Went to, what's his name, that's for the Jaguars now. Or he just lost his job on the Jaguars. But I think it was Peterson, Doug Peterson, right? Won a title finally. After a couple, paid the young rookie phenom quarterback. And all of that failed. After he says, all right, get out of here, trade the rookie, Jalen, it's all yours. And I'm going to build into you, and I'm going to build around you. I'm not here to run you into the ground. Let's go win. Jalen has rewarded him and that team with 2 Super Bowl appearances and 1 Super Bowl title. On top of it, putting up some of the most, absolutely caught it. Super Bowl statistics from the quarterback position on top of it. He's beyond goated. Jared Thomas said, Nitro, Nick Wright is already hating harder on people like Lamar Jackson post Super Bowl. I'm worried, bro, that he's going to be pissed off and go after Lamar Jackson more. Are you? No. Because here's the thing. Nick is going to hate on Lamar even after he wins the title. Because he's in direct competition with Patrick Mahomes. That's how good Lamar Jackson has been. So even if Lamar Jackson wins another MVP next year and the Super Bowl also and gets Super Bowl MVP, he'll hate on him even more because he will be marketed as the arch rival or nemesis to a Patrick Mahomes. That's just how it goes. That's how it goes. Joe said at King Lee, I was wondering the same. I think it's because we let the ink dry on Lamar's contract before we re-signed him. But then again, Jalen was a second-round pick, so no 5th year. Facts. No 5th year. Jared Thomas, Nitro, this entire offseason, Dalton Kincaid has been getting crucified for Buffalo. But for Baltimore, your guy Lamar Jackson has been getting dragged in the media. Just isn't fair. Lamar is hated. Just like you see Shedeur. He came in. They said he was very confident, didn't need an agent, wanted to do all this other stuff himself, and they labeled him brash almost and absolutely tanked his draft stock by labeling him all these ridiculous terms. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. You know, that's how it is with them. Lamar, even if the only way it stops is if Lamar wins multiple titles. Then once Lamar Jackson wins multiple Super Bowls, what they will do is they'll erase everything or delete everything that they've said bad about him and act like they said nothing. And they'll big him up, just like they did to Michael Jordan. And I brought that up before. People don't, if you're an 80s baby, 70s baby, you remember the critiques of Michael Jordan. They were saying he wasn't as smart as Bird. He couldn't pass like Magic. He couldn't make teammates better like them. He couldn't do none of that stuff. He was a ball hog, a chucker, a one-on-one show, couldn't shoot, just a high flyer, just a glorified dunker. That's what they said about Air Jordan. So when people try to act like he wasn't being hated on, it's because you don't know the history of the NBA or the history of Michael Jordan. It's ridiculous. Producer said the Ravens just need to stop giving good boy contracts and go make these moves to get better. If EDC loves Howie so much, look at how he's making it happen. No more excuses. Facts! What do you mean, Coach, I'm going to be out of salutes? Howie's him. Howie's him. I will salute that man. Could you imagine how the Ravens would look right now without Lamar Jackson? Could you imagine? I don't even want to think about that alternate universe that somewhere out there in the cosmos is happening as we speak. Get out of here with that, bruh. Nope. Hey, can we please trade our entire staff for the Eagles GM? I would. Oh, well, no, I wouldn't, because I like Zach Orr. I think he's going to be a good. I think Zach Orr is going to shine this year, and then he's going to get poached and turn into a head coach the very next year. I think the defense is going to absolutely be amazing this year. That's one of my big things for this year for the Ravens. I think the Ravens defense takes a big step forward this season. I think Zach Orr shines. And then a team is going to poach him, and then we're going to have to start the process of finding another defensive coordinator in the offseason. Mark my words, hold me to it. Watch. Nitro, you might be right because he's still hating on Jalen Hurts. Yeah. Jalen Hurts outplayed Patrick Mahomes in 2 Super Bowls. He's a threat. That's how he works. Facts, King Lee said, okay, what they did to Lamar was despicable. It was kind of what LeBron is talking about. They led with hate and negativity. They choose the best player and villainize him and expect him to flourish. It's weird. Yeah, look, and that's the thing. You know, the NBA is such a different animal than the NFL. It really is. It really is, just because the players are afforded so much more freedom than the NFL players. They're paid better. Their retirement is better. Like, they're allowed to do more, advocate more. At one point, the players' union, the players were getting 53%. Now I believe it's 50-50. But at one point, the players were getting 53% of what the league was making. And that was talked about by Isaiah Thomas with the Michael Jordan stuff, saying he was so good for business. Polarization sells, though, so I understand it from that perspective. They always pick a hero and they pick a villain. I said this about Allen Iverson. I remember watching when he went over to the Denver Nuggets, and there was a game. There was never nothing bad said about him because he stayed pretty quiet. There was a game in which he arrived late to shoot around, and the media was going crazy on him. Coming to find out that somebody reported on it and said he stopped and saved the lives of 2 drivers on his way to the stadium. And you know what they said? Who cares? We don't want to talk about that. Get out of here. That's the media once again picking its hero, picking its villain, and making sure they both stick to the script. But what we're going to do is we're going to pivot a little bit to the NBA, because that was a great topic that we just did. But this guy, LaMelo Ball, LeVar Ball's youngest son out of his trio of boys, is now being rumored to be on the trading block for the Hornets. Now, this bothers me on so many different levels, guys, because I was just talking to you about how, trying to humble people and stuff like that, and humble players, and it hasn't worked with this guy, but he's been injured and everything else, and now you're seeing a team who has been perpetually bad for so long finally draft a player that puts butts in seats and can play well, and it's already up on the rumor mill that they're ready to move off of him because of injuries. It's nasty work. It's nasty work. Nasty work. Remember, when he was coming in, they're saying he was going to be a bust. They said that LeVar was an idiot. They said all these bad things about LeVar, and they said his sons are going to fail. I want to show you what failure looks like for LaMelo Ball. I want you to take a look at those. That's his statistics. Do y'all see that? His first year, he averaged 15, 7, 5, and 6. Right? Pretty much, he almost averaged 6 and 6. But then his very next year, he averaged 20 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. And then the year after that, 23.3, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. The year after that, 23.9 points a game, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. Now he's averaging 26 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. Now, has he been injured? Yes, he has been injured. But it's up to you to figure out better ways on how to keep him from getting injured, working him out a different way, employing guys. That's what I was watching. The personal trainer for Michael Jordan, that he also was a personal trainer for Kobe Bryant, and he was saying how a lot of injuries can be thwarted with the proper regimen by working out certain ways at certain times. It helps to build up certain muscles that you're probably not accustomed to using, and it helps out that soft tissue. That's up to the team to help them do that. It's part of the job. But because they're not a bigger team or a respected team, they'll just say, go out there and play, make us money, and when it all falls down, it all falls down. When it all falls down, when the real one in the kill comes. Like, bro, and that's what's happening with this. It would be a travesty if they traded LaMelo Ball. It would be absolutely comical. A player as young as him getting traded. Now, I know people are going to say Luka and stuff like that. He doesn't have weight problems like a Zion or a Luka at all. So what would be your excuse? That you just want to get a whole bunch of good players instead of having a great player? He's morphing into a great player. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I hate when teams do this. That's why bad teams perpetually stay bad. Perpetually stay bad. Sometimes you have to take chances. Sometimes you got to stick with certain stars and build around them. Look what the Toronto Raptors did when they finally got Kawhi and they ended up winning and stuff like that, right? And finally got their title. Took chances, made moves. Like, they could probably team up LaMelo with another star player, like a Cooper Flag or something like that, have a great duo, and then actually have the opportunity to compete for an NBA Finals championship. Jared Thomas says, Nitro, Nick Wright has still alluded that he doesn't think Jalen Hurts can win as a pure passer like Burrow. Bro, you notice how he was hating on Burrow before? But now Burrow's having trouble making the playoffs, so he's no longer a threat. That's how Nick Wright works. Nothing Nick Wright says surprises me. Anybody that can challenge the throne of his Patrick Mahomes, he will detest and attack on his media platform. He doesn't care what he said in the past. He'll just keep doing it. He doesn't even care if he looks like a liar. He'll admit like, oh, well, I like him and that's just the way it goes. He's admitted to as much. NFL knows Mahomes is marketable, but so is Lamar. It's funny how often they talk about Lamar more than Mahomes on any broadcast. They compare every player to Lamar. Every quarterback in the league has been compared to Lamar Jackson. Every quarterback. Daniel Jones, Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, what's his name over there for the Chargers, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Tua, Jalen Hurts, now Jaden Daniels. Remember they came out, he throws better than, right now, he's a better thrower of the football than Lamar Jackson. Bro, that's what they do. Listen, this could also be the league trying to get stars on the bigger money teams so that they could get back some of the viewership that they've been lacking or losing in the past decade. They've been losing. They're down to 58% of their viewership is gone. That's what I'm saying. You can't just say it's because guys are hating on LeBron and the players. And a lot of it is the players' fault. I talked about this before. That's why sometimes I don't compare everything NBA and NFL because the players don't have the say that they do in the NFL that they do in the NBA. They don't have the power that they have in the NFL that they do in the NBA. It's already been proven that fans will watch mailmen and milkmen and FedEx drivers as long as they're wearing that jersey. Remember, the NFL has already done that. Where there was a lockout, they started employing guys off the street, and guess what? There was no drop in the ratings. So, yeah. Lamar Jackson is the best player in the NFL. They compare everyone to him because he is the standard bearer. He is the guy. You know what's crazy? He's the guy with none of the benefits. Like, usually, if you're the face of a league, there's benefits to being the face of the league. Lamar Jackson is only part of the face of the league. He gets all the negativity of being the face of the league with none of the positivity. The positivity is given to Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and aspiring upcoming Joe Burrow. All of the hate is focused squarely on the arms, shoulders, and legs of Lamar Demetrius Jackson. And it's sad. It really is. Chosen one, that's exactly what they did. I talked about that in one of my other lives. The viewership has been down. They know the Lakers are a staple in the NBA. And do you know what they always go back to? Lakers versus Celtics. The Celtics are already a good team. But they're young, so they're going to be a good team for a while. So if you get Luka on the team, they'll be able to match up against them multiple seasons and build back the fandom of the NBA. The Lakers are second in the West. Yeah, that's what they're pushing for, and they get the face of the league, LeBron, even in his twilight years, back into the finals. Which everybody would watch because half the people are watching to see LeBron James succeed, and then the other half are watching to hope that he fails. So it's must-see TV. If the Lakers make it to the finals and it's against the Celtics, everybody and their mama are going to be watching every one of those games from start to finish. I don't even got to ask you. And that's what the NBA is hanging their hat on. That's what they're hanging their hat on. I'm telling you. So it's like, what's it called? You can't name another top 5 QB in NFL history that never had a true number 1 wide receiver at it. It's sad. Facts. He's the only one. He is the only one. Why is it that views are down? Is it because of the 82 games? No. It's because guys are taking time off. Guys aren't playing defense. The games become very repetitive with everybody trying to shoot threes. There's a lot of reasons why. I talked about this in a previous live. Diving after a loose ball is pretty much called playoff basketball now. When that was every day. Like when you would watch WGN to watch Chicago Bulls games, if I'm showing my age, to watch the Chicago Bulls play, we used to turn into WGN. Guys were leaping out of bounds, jumping on LeBron James. Then you know LeBron Jackson. I'm gonna start saying that now. LeBron Jackson. Because look, I'm not a big LeBron fan. I told you guys that before. But I can respect his career and what he's done off the court. And I'm not going to disrespect the man. Even though I feel like certain stuff he's brought on himself, I'm not going to disrespect his legacy or what he's accomplished. I'm not going to do that. Jared Thompson, Nitro, Ryan Clark said that Jaden Daniels after 5 games was already. I brought that up. Yeah, that Jaden Daniels is a better passer than Lamar Jackson. It's nasty. Trollman said, true, Nitro, very true. He's not getting the perks of the best player. He doesn't even get the whistle, which pisses me off. Bro, he is 23rd in the league in calls called his way? The NFL did a graph on it. It's nasty, bro. Nasty. Producer said, preach Nitro. He is the guy, but without the benefits. That's a word right there. Facts. Somebody clip that and go put it on Twitter. Please. Please. Because that's factual. He's been getting hated on from the draft. And people be like, and then you have people that hate him say he's coddled. Nasty work. It was a strategic move that, to be honest, was needed and well executed. We will all watch Lakers versus Celtics with Luka Magic on display. Facts. We will. And that's already, no one else is talking about it. But I'll talk about it. The league did this to get back up viewership. They're manipulating teams and stuff like that to get back, to help out the bottom line. And the bottom line in every professional sports is money. Remember, they just signed those new deals. They gotta have a better product. Nigel, that's the kind of insane takes that people have on Lamar Jackson. The only guy to me that gets comparable to him hating right now is the media is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott gets hate because he's a Dallas Cowboys. He's a Dallas Cowboys QB. That is black. That's why he gets hated on. That's not even, I don't even understand how you can even argue that. He gets hated on because he's the QB of the Dallas Cowboys and he's black on top of it. I'm not saying they're racist on something, but it just facts is facts. The Dallas Cowboys was portrayed a certain way. You understand? And Dak goes against some of that. And they're the easiest team to hate on in the NFL. People love to hate the Cowboys. There's a reason why they're worth so much, even though they haven't won a title since the 90s. WGN, darn, you remember that? And NBC, bro, King Lee. My memory is it, bro. It is it. It is it. Nigel hits that the Lamar Jackson gets with no cause is cringeworthy, bro. Lamar gets the crap beat out of him. And that's the worst part. He gets beat up every game. It's not even like they're pulling up. With other QBs, they'll at least try to take him down. They're hitting Lamar, like hitting him. Nitro, though, Dak Prescott, I believe, is better than the media says. Duke and Ball. Dak is a good quarterback. Well, it's a long season. They changed the rules. They added the stupid play-in so every team makes playoffs. Yeah, to try to get viewers up. But I promise you, if this Lakers-Celtics thing ends up happening and the viewership spikes, all that playing might be discarded. Watch. I'm serious. Old school. Yep. Facts. But guys, it's already about to hit 10:45. We've been on for an hour. Thank you for showing up for another live episode of the Wunderkind Morning Show. And guys, look, before we close out, I want to give, you already know how I do things. We have to have the shout out to the trivia for the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Guys, this is one of the most memorable cartoons growing. Yup, WGN with the Cub games too. Wasn't it with Ken Griffey? If I'm not mistaken. Was it him? I don't remember. No, it was the Seattle Mariners. It wasn't him. It was somebody else that used to be on the Cubs. It was a good player. I can't remember who it was. But yeah. Shout out to you, Flex Zone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for everyone showing up. But guys, I got this right here. I'm going to see if you guys remember this cartoon growing up. One of the greatest Disney cartoons of all time. Do you remember it? Chip and Dale. And no, I'm not talking about the dance plays for dudes. Y'all don't remember Chip and Dale's? That's who it was. Sammy Sosa. Thanks, King Lee. Yeah, that's who it was. Yes, even coaches like Chippendale, baby. Rescue Rangers. Yes, one of the big staples of cartoons during that time with Goof Troop and others, The Little Mermaid, Timon and Pumbaa, DuckTales, a lot of, Darkwing Duck, a lot of those. It was a plethora of cartoons at that time that are literally goated. But if you never got to watch Disney morning cartoons, you missed out on some of the greatest opening theme songs of all time. This man says I still have the Chippendale dolls, bro. Facts. Yo, I'm a 90s baby. That might be before my time. Bro, man, a lot of these shows, man. I'm gonna keep listening. This is nostalgia at its finest. Nostalgia at its finest. Like, I was big on, like, Gummy Bears, I believe, came out in the 80s. But I used to, as a kid, a young kid, I used to love the Gummy Bears. That was one of my favorite cartoons as a child. Like 6, 5, and stuff like that. Gummy Bears, bouncing here and there and everywhere. Y'all remember it? High adventures that's beyond compare. We are the Gummy Bears. Yo, bro, nostalgia at its finest. Yo, listen, and mind you, I remember eating King Vitamin cereal, trying to watch these cartoons. The cereal that literally had razor blades in it that would chop up the roof of your mouth and turn it into Swiss cheese. And you had to hurry up and eat it fast because if you left it in the milk, it would turn into mashed potatoes. If you ever question if I'm an 80s baby, because I remember King Vitamins, trying to eat King Vitamins. I used to put honey over the King Vitamins to give it some sweetness and stuff like that. Or I would use strawberry syrup within the milk or something like to give it some more taste. Because to tell you the truth, it kind of tasted like cardboard box. Like slightly sweetened cardboard box. That would melt right before your eyes if you left it in your milk too long. How many of you remember King Vitamin cereal? If you think I'm joking. But, man, shout out to everybody for showing up, man. These kids will never understand the joy of a Saturday morning back in the day. Bro, Saturday morning was so great. And you'd be switching through channels because there was so much. Like, you had Kids WB, Fox Kids. You had Disney. You had so much. You had ABC. You had PBS Kids. You had Nickelodeon. Like, there was so much to jump in between. For that other, like, people don't even remember, like, the other channels started trying their own hands at cartoons. Like, USA Network had their own cartoon on Saturday morning. I remember that vividly. Like, man. WGN had cartoons in the morning. What's another channel that had cartoons? Man, people forget about USA. Because remember, they had Wildcats. What's it called? Wildcats was a big one. Dragon. I forgot. It was like something dragon. Something dragon with a green dragon and stuff like that. So, yeah. But, guys, it's been great. It's been fun. Thank you for showing up for another show. If you have not already done so, please remember to like and subscribe. We will be here again tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Be here or be squared. I love you guys. Oh, yeah, Boomerang was another one because you used to have the old Godzilla and Godzuki. And then, yeah, the Flintstones, Jetsons, a lot of them, man. And Cartoon Network, yeah. So, yeah, as I'm saying, so many channels had their cartoon lineups. And sometimes you had to switch the channel. Because if you like anime, you would want to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon. Then if you like Power Rangers, you had to watch Fox. If you like some of the old school ones for like Lion King, it's like you had to go to Disney. If you want to watch some more action-packed ones like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Wildcats, you had to go to USA Networks. Like, people forget, Mortal Kombat ended up becoming a cartoon. Street Fighter became a cartoon. Highlander became a cartoon. Come on now, bro. But like I said, thank y'all for tuning in for the episode. I love you guys. If you haven't already done so and you want to leave a donation, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a QR code. QR code's with Cash App. Cash App located in the description of every video that we do. Name of it is the money sign, The Wunderkind Show. So, guys, if you have not already done so, please remember to like and subscribe. We're trying to get this channel as quick as possible to 1,000 subscribers. So let it be out there. But I love you guys. Thanks for showing up. And I'm out this piece. You know my slogan. Peace, and I'm out of here. Yeah.
Finish him, Daddy.
Do not